Hi, Harun. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If-
Tell me.
So you're finally doing it. We've been talking it for maybe 1 month about doing this stuff, and now we're finally setting it up. It's amazing.
Yeah, like in your own space that we can do. That is the best thing.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel that about doing a podcast here?
I feel more comfortable doing it in my own space, and it's easy that you come and set it up for me. It's very convenient.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's what our concept is. And before jumping to that, so to introduce our guests, introduce our audience, can you just tell me about what you are doing and how you build that business?
Sure. I'm an entrepreneur based out of Denmark, and we have our own payment software platform where companies can get dedicated IBANs for their business to do international transactions. So basically, you can log into our platform and we issue an IBAN. And from there, a business can receive money, convert it, hold, send, and receive over 50 different currencies, and then send it out to over 150 different countries. And we make it easy for clients to onboard, to go through the KYC, and we make sure that they have a dedicated account manager. So every time they call the bank, they get the same service and the same person that they talk with.
Okay, that sounds really cool. That means you are connecting to a person and individual. You can connect to the access to the 150 countries. You can take a bank account from one person from your platform.
Exactly. And what we do different than conventional banks is that we can give localized banking details. So imagine that you're a company here in the UAE, but you work with the European market. Then we give you a Luxembourg IBAN, and we give you a Danish one, a British one. It makes it easier for your clients to pay you.
Okay, that sounds really great. So I have a question are you coming from a finance background to develop this?
No, actually, I have studied global supply chain and logistic management. And I've studied at 3 different universities and 3 different continents. And then I've worked with the movement of money, information, goods and services and products. That's also what we studied. But I don't have a finance background. But I guess what I am is more like a financial architecture. So I build the right architecture for companies to be able to trade on international markets.
That sounds very cool. So you prove that you don't need to be that much of the same background to build something, and you prove that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a banking background. I don't have a finance background, but I have a really good team with me. And plus, I learned a lot by doing, by failing, trying.
Yeah, okay. One thing I just like you, and I saw your ads and that you done before. So you made an ad, and that is the one who get the customers with the 0 followers and just a newly page, a fresh baby. You made customer from that. How did you do that?
So that was also it was a wrong belief that I had before I started that there's a guy called Dino in Denmark. He's very talented within marketing. He told me to just make an ad and then post it out of an empty Facebook page. And the ad was what we call in modern terms a shit ad, because it's basically just yourself holding up a camera and filming yourself and then telling what problem you're solving. And I shot a 30-second shit ad, a selfie video of myself, and I posted it on an empty Facebook page. We didn't have a website. We didn't have any social proof, no pictures, nothing at that time. But we were solving a very serious problem for businesses. So we put, I think, $100 in the ad, and we got 20 companies that reached out. And out of those 20 companies, we closed 5. So it amazed me also, because the conventional thinking from entrepreneurs is that everything has to be perfect. I have to have the perfect logo. I have to have the perfect website, the perfect Facebook page with a lot of content before clients will contact me. But that's not the case.
Yeah, that's one thing. Every kind of marketing that will win if you do it the right way and if you do consistently. But you made it the first call that from one ad, the first ad from the single page, you made 5 clients, 20 leads, and 5 clients you closed. That means if you have a good problem to solve and you have the solution in your hands and you are confident to say that, you can make the clients.
Exactly. We also have talked a lot about it's not about what you say, but also about how you deliver it. And I've been taking a lot of courses on communication. So the rate of speed and the tonality, the volume, if you're confident in delivering a message and you seem confident and you're powerful in the delivery, then the clients are also going to trust you more.
Yeah, that is true. That is the one thing I want to talk about the podcast also, because nowadays, like, everybody is starting doing podcasts because that is a number one way to build an authority on social media. But some people doesn't know even what to speak and how to speak. They just put the camera, just put the mic and start talking. That is a good way, but we are in a space that is like people are printing, like people are putting videos every day. I mean, like millions of videos is coming in the online. So how you will be stand out is like the way you present, and what you're gonna say. And that's the one thing, like, even me, I'm doing courses for like communication, how I can develop. And what is that? And the way you speak is so interesting. So can you say, like, what is the things that you made a mistake and you are fixing right now?
So I'll give you a reference from a course by Jordan Belfort. He's infamously known from that movie Wolf of Wall Street. I bought a course from him back when I started, and he teaches about the agreeable man tonality, the mystery voice tonality. And it's super simple. When you're in a call or when you're addressing your audience, you can, at the end of the sentence, create a high-pitched tonality. So if I call somebody on the phone, I say, hey, this is Haroon from EasyConto. You signed up and were interested in an international bank account. So you see, at the end of my sentence, I'm going up in my tonality. And this is called the agreeable man. And this is something that's very natural to us from childhood. Imagine you have a niece or a nephew. They come and say, Sharik, uncle, you promised to buy me an ice cream, right? Right? And you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if I did it, but it sounds right, because they go up, right? And you don't have to say right in every sentence, but you can implement it at the end of the sentence. And the same thing you can do in podcasts.
Yeah, so that means, like, if I am still like, Haroon, you agree my podcast for the last week, right? So if I call you, you feel about, okay, I'm picking you. I'm picking from the last line. Oh, yes, maybe. Oh, if it sounds like confused, Haroon, like, Haroon, you agreed for me a podcast the last week. So
yeah, it goes down.
The down, so you feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. So
the confidence is not there.
Exactly. And the trick is not saying the word right, but just going up. So that could be like calling a client and you could say, you're interested in a podcast? And he's like, yes, I was interested in a podcast. Instead of saying, you're interested in a podcast? You hear the difference? So that's the start. If you're marketing a product or you're selling or you're over the phone or you're having conversations, introducing the agreeable man tonality helps you a lot. That takes you to the next tonality, which is the mystery man, because you can't go in a sentence, right, because then he's going to think you're crazy. So at some point, you have to really lower the field and then go into mystery man mode. So he does it in the movie. He says, something amazing just came on my desk, He's literally leaning forward and he's like, speak very slow because this is important. And when people start to speak in a mystery tone voice, you feel that important. You're like, okay, now he's delivering something very important because now I'm whispering to you. You can do it in a sales setting. Also, I've seen it thousands of times. There's only two people sitting in a business negotiation setting, and he's still whispering to him and saying, I'm going to give you a really good discount. I usually don't give it to anybody else. And he could say it in different ways, but when he lowers his volume and he says it, then the client feels more seen and heard and appreciated at that moment.
That is really cool. Like, you talk about like two tone. That is the one. That's the one called
agreeable. And then
agreeable.
And then the
mystery
man.
Okay, that's cool. And mystery. Yeah, that is the wonderful. So when you speak in the same tonality, that doesn't give a power. But when you raise your voice, when you lower your voice, that is the wave that people can think about it.
Exactly. That's the rate of your speech. So if I'm speaking very fast all the time and saying things like this, and then you're going to lose it, but then you can slow down. And also the volume you speak in and the tonality and the hands you use. So you have to mix your rate of speech and volume.
And most of the people, they are losing the art of this communication. They are losing the art of this communication because they were not sitting in the real people. They are always in the phone, so they can't speak to the right people.
Yeah.
But that is the one thing I don't know, like maybe the podcast, because like when we talk in the real, face to face, the real conversation comes, so people can believe the way you speak, as like you are the way. So that is really cool. That is was very informative. So how do you explain the marketing in 2026 now?
The marketing in 2026, what I'm doing personally different in my own company is to introduce AI. But AI can also become very obsolete because everybody is doing it. So there's happening a trend in the whole 21st century, actually, forget 2026. And this started back in 2018 when I went to Yale University. And there was this speech on radio and podcast. And there was this professor that already in 2018 told the statistics about what it costs to get advertisement and marketing on different channels. And already back in 2018, it was more expensive to get a marketing spot on a podcast than it was to get a marketing spot on the Super Bowl. So it's that there's happening a flip right now. You know, we're going back to conversation-based marketing where it seems more genuine, it seems more relatable. That doing podcast is actually the new trend.
Okay, yeah, that is really cool. And he mentioned 2018,
Yeah,
and the time comes right now.
Yeah, exactly. See, Joe Rogan, he has, I think, probably the most expensive place to get a commercial would be like Joe Rogan on these other podcasts. It's more expensive than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And people people think about who is gonna watch a 1 hour podcast, but you check their views, check their listeners, it's going up and up and up. Because if you made a small video, it's just passing information. But if you want to learn something about that, you want to completely take a course, but nobody's going to take a course for everyone. That's why the real conversation with the right people, they are taking advantage of that. That is really cool. And
I'll touch upon the AI stuff because we also talked about it when we had dinner at Baghdad Bar. You remember? I want to give a little bit of value here to people. So basically, we have developed it since then. Actually, we've gotten closer to an end result product. So we use something that's called Blot AI, to scrape the internet from viral content. And you can find viral content in your own niche, or you can just plug in different, like Alex Hermosi, their YouTube channel, and you'll just find their most viral content. Based on that, it will give you a script. You can take that script, create a Heigen copy of yourself, an avatar, and then you can feed that script, and then you can get it out, and then you can put it in Caption or CapCut, and then you can edit it. And what we also do is we use Higgs field and Kling to generate images of me, and then use AI to moderate them for B-rolls.
okay.
And then this is basically the whole process. And then the end, we put it on Buffer, and then from Buffer, we post it out on all our social media. So this also automates the whole process of creating content, creating viral content, and creating it very fast. So you don't have to sit in front of a camera and remember lines and do scripts. This is also something it's going to blow up in 2026.
Okay, that's what thing that's a product that you are developing for the people who want to.
Yeah, I am actually developing it for my own use, but I've already had a lot of my current clients who talk about this. They're like, yeah, we will pay you if you can copy this for ourselves.
Yeah, like because people are now the people who have the idea and who have the money, they are not paying for the product. They are paying to save the time. They are paying for the time. So whatever they want to save their time, they will use it. And the effort is so low. So that's a great idea. And talking about the AI, just now in 2026, like everything that, even a small app that say this is an AI integrated. So that thing have a push to they think they bring value. They bring value to the product or the service if you implement AI on that. What do you think? Is that the right, or because last years before, there has a time like .com, who people have .com, they come first in the line. Then they came AI, .ae, different domain extensions they came. So the .com is not like that much. Same kind of the things like right now happening. People are integrating AI to their app, and that costs a lot of money to integrate AI. If it doesn't work right, let's spend a lot of money. Or do they actually get the value of that?
That's something time will show. And if you're doing something related to AI, I guess it will help your SEO, your search engine optimization. Yeah, it will help that, of course, because people will search something and write AI, and then you will come up faster. So if you're doing something related to AI, yeah, get an AI domain before somebody else buys it. Yeah, so do that for sure. I think it can help you if you're in the AI field, for sure.
If you're in the AI field, that is cool.
Going back to convenience, and you're talking about that people are paying for convenience and saving time, can you maybe elaborate a little bit about Spotcast? Because this is maybe a unique cornerstone, a unique selling proposition that you have, right?
We can just talk about. So that is a really good. That is a really good point. Like, because you build a platform. You are building a platform to be save the time and also like convenience for you to do content. Actually, that is the same thing for podcasting. Like the podcast, what I built, because most of the people, they are in the, especially city like Dubai, they are completely packed with every schedule. So that's where I'm coming with the idea, like we bring studio to you instead of like you going to studio. So you see, like we just come here and like the 30 minutes, like, we just set up this space as like feel like a premium studio, but your space, comfortable space. So that's what exactly. And even you can go to unique spaces like a desert or outdoor, feel fresh. So you can do really authentic content and really authentic podcast for the people to reach out. That's the podcast. That's how I changed the podcast to Sportcast. We do Sportcast at your spot.
Nice. Yeah. And what do you have, some case studies or maybe some testimonials from clients where it has impacted their business after doing a Spotcast with you?
Yeah, there is one client, like he's from UK, and like he see our ad and he loved the way we do it in an ad that is in a desert. So he said like he would like to do a podcast in a desert. So he came there and like we done a podcast in a desert. That was so nice in the early morning, and that go boom because like he come from UK. He have a base of UK audience, and he's from Kerala, and nobody sees that a podcast doing in a desert. So even without what he's saying, people start looking to that and like asking about how you do that. And desert is a different concept, like Yani. Same thing we can do in different places. Even in a studio, we done a podcast in a gym. So that means that person who is doing a fitness content in a gym and a podcast in a gym, that build an authority. He owns a gym, and he's talking about how you can develop the business of the gym or build muscle. That is the authority they are building when you do a podcast in their own space.
Yes. I would love to do a podcast in a bank. That could be nice.
That could be nice.
Yeah, exactly. We get into like a bank vault and you sit in there. You have the gold bars in the back.
Yeah.
And you have like a big bank vault.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Like I know a guy, like he's a real estate agent, but he also do trades with the gold and silver. I see his podcast, he put silver biscuit on the table of the podcast table. That could be very nice. And where I get inspired from the term podcast is like, do you ever see like most of the podcast of Elon Musk, he done in his company. He never go out. Whenever someone wants to do a podcast, like he just came to the Elon Musk office, like the space and the Tesla is background over there, and he done a podcast over there.
It's like a visual hook, right?
The frame tells story. The same thing like, Ali Abda, the CEO of Known and the Imar. So when he do an interview about Noon, he didn't go in his studio. He was there in the Noon warehouse. So people who seeing about that, they say, okay, this is something related to the Noon. They get that. That's the idea I came from. This podcast. As you say, like when you do a podcast in the bank setup,
yeah, exactly.
You're talking about money.
Exactly.
You're talking about bank.
Yeah. People catch it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's convenience, and And plus, I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs that come to Dubai to check out the scene. You know, I did it myself. I started my company here 2 years ago, and I was DMing a lot of people to try to get on their podcast because I didn't want to go to a podcast studio and just sit there by myself. So I was texting a lot of people who had equipment to say, hey, can I come out to you? I think it would be amazing if Spotcast start offering a matchmaking service also.
So you mean that to build a matchmaking for the guest and a host, that's really, really nice. You know, like what I'm doing, like we are building an AI software. The AI is there. So we are building an AI software because like even when I start the podcast, I want to connect with the right people. But I want to go to their DM, their emails, and the people who are handling that is not the same person. They are by the managers and everything. They put a block on their barrier. They put a barrier over there. So it's really hard to get the right people. So what we are doing is like the same thing you said. We are connecting the host and the guest through a platform. They can go and like search for their niche and they can see, okay, who is my person? They can just request. So when they accept that, they can just put a podcast over there.
It's also convenient because I imagine on this matchmaking platform, they're going to use Spotcast. So if I match with somebody on this platform or reach out to them, I can say, hey, I want to do a podcast with you. Do you have 30 minutes or 45 minutes where it's convenient to you? We can come out to your house, we come to your office, or we can meet at a cafe and Spotcast will come and set it up. So it makes it easy to find a match and it makes it convenient to set it up and execute on it. Whereas if both parties has to drive out to a studio somewhere, sit in traffic, you know how horrible the traffic is here. I think it's a good match. It's a good synergy that you have the platform to match people and you have the equipment that you can go out and set it up. And I think that there's a lot of people that probably are listening that wants to come to Dubai and sees this because of some algorithm. And then they're wondering, like, how do I record a podcast while I'm in Dubai? Because there's a lot of benefits from it. First of all, if you're an international businessman and you come to Dubai and you do a podcast, you can write off the trip also. You can write off maybe a lot of things, the flight ticket, the hotels, because now it's a business expense. So going to Spotcast and just DMing you guys on Instagram right now and saying, hey, I want to do a podcast. Can you find somebody in my niche? I do e-commerce. And then you guys come out and you set it up and you shoot it with somebody. Then they can go home to their accountant and say, hey, there's some marketing material that I've shot.
That is cool. Like you face the problem, like, and seeing that.
Yeah, I have faced it because I looked at a lot of these famous guys. What's that guy that goes to these garage sales?
The garage sales?
Yeah, the guy that's Gary Vee or something like that, I think he's called.
He's in USA.
Yeah.
Gary Vee, yeah.
Exactly. So Gary Vee said the most beneficial thing you can do right now for your business is to go out and go on podcast. There's also some other businessmen that have been here and they were asked, what was the best thing you did when you came to Dubai? And they all answered, we went on podcasts. So I was desperately looking to get on a podcast, but nobody had the right time, or they were like, yeah, but we only go to the studios every Sunday because they don't have any available time. So for me, I had two problems and you're solving the both. One, getting the equipment. Second is getting the person that you can have an amazing conversation with.
That is really cool. Like, and the people, like, said the podcast is one of the best thing. Like, that is an investment. Like, because, you know, like when we are doing a podcast, you are taking leverage of my audience and I'm taking leverage of your audience and you are connecting each other. That's the best way. And Dubai is like made for that, to build network, to build a business. That is the best thing. So when you are just coming to Dubai, why you just coming and traveling and go back? You can take the leverage of like, where is the people? Where's the right people like here? And I can do a podcast. I can meet up with a podcast. Yeah. I saw people like who just come here. I know a guy like who's a really good real estate agent, and his partner, he came here, and then he invited him for a podcast. Then he become business partners now.
Nice.
Yeah, that is really cool because like instead of a casual coffee talk, just have real conversation that you can take a leverage of 1 hour.
Another benefits I think there is about podcasts that is unseen and untalked about too much is that you can actually take a conversation of 1 hour and you can put it into an AI program and you can like create like 50 different videos and it will do it for you automatically. So this is also good, right? Instead of creating 50 different small reels, you just have a 1 hour long conversation and you cut it out and you have content for the whole month.
That is true. That's a time saver.
Yeah, that's a time saver. Yeah, exactly.
And people also believe that kind of conversations really. So talking about like next thing, what is like, how do you explain Dubai? Like you brought up in Denmark, right?
Yes.
How do you talk about like where is Denmark and where is Dubai?
Yeah, so I'm a third generation Danish Pakistani guy, and in Denmark we have something called Janteloven. Is it like a law in Denmark where people try to keep each other down? It's Janteloven. You can look it up. It's like a written law from old times, like I think some villagers made it up, like it's like you should not outshine each other. You should not think that you're better than others. You should not think that that you are something valuable. You should not think that you can achieve something. You should not think that, like, very negative things. And in Denmark, there's not so much support. If you go out and try to do something, people try to pull you down a lot and like stay in your lane. Don't try to do big things. Don't do big waves. And Dubai is opposite. Here, you're encouraged to go big, to dream big. And I also moved out of Denmark because I feel like the culture here is more welcoming. It's like a melting pot of different nationalities.
Yes.
Of course, I love Denmark because there everybody is treated well based on humanity, and there's like a good social welfare system. But I need something more fast paced. This is why I came to Dubai, because you can make your business, you can scale your business much faster here for sure. I've met a lot of people, I made a lot of connection, and it's more vibrant here. The work culture is also much more efficient here and effective. People are hungry for success. In Denmark, they're not so hungry. They want to take their breaks and they only want to work from 9 to 4. And yeah.
That is really cool. And the one point I feel that when you talk about Dubai is like you are already in a trade. If you just rest, it will go down. If you work, you have an opportunity to go up. When you just come to Dubai and just taking rest, you will go down, down, down. And like that is the rule of Dubai. It's very fast and you can't take rest because like no one is rich here because even the rich feel like poor. Every day, like you see different people. And that's a feel.
I love this quote by Sheikh, what's his name? Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. He says that whether you're a lion or a gazelle, when you wake up, you better start running. And this is basically Dubai. Like you have to work.
You have to work. You can make it, but you have to work. If you take rest, you can come to Dubai. You can come to Dubai and just sit and chill and everything. But after years, you don't get any citizenship. You are just staying here for a period. So you can make the period to a successful life, or you can make this period to a broken life.
True.
It's in your hands.
There's a lot of people that comes here and tries to make it, and then they lose all their money.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to live here. It's an expensive city.
Yeah. That is true.
But I'm glad to come here. 0% income tax. There's 9% corporate tax. It's easy to do business. It's easy to work with the free zones. It's easy to get around, meet people, network.
Yeah. How do you think, like, is starting a business in 2026, is it easy?
I think as an entrepreneur, as a human being, the most difficult thing you can do to yourself is to become a business owner and an entrepreneur. It's not an easy life. Business is very, very hard, but it's very rewarding too. I quit my job at ServiceNow 3 years ago. I was working for a Fortune 500 company. Before that, I worked for Denmark's richest man, and I was making a good salary. Some months I would make like $15,000 after tax. So I made like really good money. But I quit that. I moved back to my father's basement and I started my own company. This gave me a lot more responsibility and I started making less money, but I got freedom. I traveled to over 24 countries in 24 months. I was traveling to a lot of countries and living my dream. For me, the most important thing to have is freedom, not job stability. So I think if you're looking for stability and easy life, you should not do a business. If you're looking for excitement, freedom, no cap on your salary, then you should start a business. And it takes a special kind of person to be a businessman.
That is true. I also like the question was like, is it start a business? Is it easy to start a business? And it's easy to start a business, but managing and running a business is not easy. You can start a business, even like Dubai, within days you can start, you can get the license, you can do. But you know, like how many business we are shutting down every year, like the same is they don't know how to run the business.
Yeah.
And that is the really hardest part. You nurture like you should look like a baby. Because like when you start a business, it's just like a baby. They don't know how to develop. You are the mother, you are the father. You need to teach them, you need to nurture them. You need to develop all the hands and legs and everything to work, to run and everything. But people know not. And nowadays, a lot of people, they are thinking about, okay, just close the chapter of the job and get into the business and I could succeed.
No, it doesn't work like that. It's like Murphy's Law. It's like what will go wrong will eventually go wrong. What can go wrong will go wrong. I'm writing a book right now that's called 100 People That Wronged Me.
Wow.
And
writing a book?
Yes, I'm writing a book.
What's the name?
100 People That Wronged Me.
Okay.
That means that they either like tricked me or scammed me or this, because there's a lot of scams and cheating and like lying in business. And I experienced a lot. Like you can solve something for somebody in a business, like no cure, no pay, and then you have a promise with them. But if you don't have a contract, they don't care. Or I've invested in some businesses where they just gambled away the money. Or I've had some people that I've hired to make a website, but they copied the website totally and gave me like a plagiarized website that got me sued. I have gotten suppliers that have not paid me like 100,000 euros that I have to fly out to their office, you know, in a different country in order to get the money from kickback from my affiliates and stuff like that. So there's a lot of shit that happens in business, and you gotta have a strong gut. You gotta have a strong personality. You gotta remind yourself this quote that I have from Les Brown. No matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it gets, it's possible. I can do it. I have something special. You have to remind yourself. You have to be a little bit lunatic, stand in front of a mirror or listen to positive things all the time, because in business, there's going to be a lot of shit that happens to you.
Then I like your book. You know why? Because like there is a lot of people who is talking about what you want to do, but the biggest important thing nowadays you need to know like what you don't do or who is the people who don't work with.
Yeah.
You need to feel, you need to smell that negatives. You don't feel that. If you don't get that signal, you will go to the wrong way.
Yeah,
and it's really helpful.
Have you ever heard about that things called sixth sense? Like sixth sense,
Yeah.
like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Right, Sharik, right? I've never had this feeling about my gut feeling or sixth sense that have proved it wrong. Like as a business owner, you should also listen to your intuition, listen to your gut feeling. It can help you along. Have you ever had those experiences in your life where your gut feeling is telling you something and you did it anyway? And then
break the point.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had like a bad experience and you're like, shit, I should have listened to my sixth sense.
Sixth sense. Yeah, that is true. Like always, you know, like when you connected to, like I was not a spiritual guy before, but I go through a stage that is like, I feel it's not in my control only. Like everything I'm doing is not in my control only. There is thing that I can't see tomorrow. I can't see what is going to happen. So the same thing, I feel like you should feed your inside with the best thing, so you'll get the right answer. So same thing, like I had an experience like with the persons I don't want to work with. I don't want to work with, but I was stuck in that company. But there is an intuition. I feel like I'm going wrong. And then what happens is like from a morning, I was like seeing that I just want to quit the job. So they asked me why. And I want to quit the job. I just quit the job. After like 3 days or 4 days, they got like every person's they just what's called like
You fired that.
they fired everybody in the company.
Wow.
They closed the whole section
Wow.
without any reason. There is something happens wrong. But if I just imagine like, because like if you want to quit a job, you don't do like tomorrow. You are thinking about like months. So I just started looking into another job. That's how I came to Dubai. Because I planned to go to Dubai. So what I feel like, okay, I want to quit the job. So like the next month so I already prepared and then said like without any notice period, I said like, I want to quit the job. So that is just something where what I feel is that when you connect to your God, you'll get the answer. Also like before I used to do parties and everything. Now when I go to the space that is not apt for me, I feel the negative. I can't sit there for long with a positive energy. Same thing that can happens in your life. I mean, you do the people who do meditations, even do people go to the alone, lonely space or something that connects your inner soul.
Yeah.
If you read the book of like Power of Subconscious Mind.
No, I haven't read that.
Yeah, the Power of Subconscious Mind. That book tells you like whatever you believe, it will be happen. So whatever you want to do is like always pray for yourself to get happen. Things happen. You want to always like give that vibe. Like if you want to be successful, everybody want to be successful, but they don't know what they exactly want to. They need clarity. If you want a car, okay, which car? Red car, which car? A Porsche. What color? What number you want? What the size of what size? You need the exact clarity of what you want, so you will get closer to that. But people don't know that.
Yeah.
They're like, I just want to be successful. What do you mean by success? Having money. How much money? They don't know.
It's pretty easy. If you want to succeed in life, you should take a piece of paper and write down all your goals. And then afterwards, you should just focus on what is one thing I can do today that will get me closer to this goal. What is one thing I can work on myself, like personal-wise, like communication-wise, and what is the ideal version of myself? So yeah, it's very important to work on yourself, and it's also very important to manifest. Go into that new car that you want to buy, go to the store, sit in it, smell it, and also close your eyes. And it's also proven psychologically and in research studies that you get the same happiness and the same kind of achievement, the feeling of satisfaction, if you close your eyes, sit down, and you imagine yourself in a Porsche. Then it's the same as sitting in a Porsche, right? So you can sit and you can manifest and you can bring it into your life.
Yeah, that is true. Like my power of manifesting.
Yeah.
The power of manifesting. Like imagine something you want and like go take an action to get closer to that, and then you feel experience. I saw a guy who lives in Beverly Hills. He don't have any job, but he lives in Beverly Hills. Like what he wants to network with the people in there. So what he done, like he live in a very small room in the Beverly Hills he can do, and he live for a year. Now I see like, and after he say that, he finished that, he just go back to his Lamborghini. So he learned how to, so I don't remember like what exactly his business is, like it's an online model, but he said like, I want this. So I just live in the place where is the most people like who drive these kind of cars.
Nice.
So he can just closer to that. And he also like the way the normal people thinking and the way the rich people think is entirely different. And if you don't know how to deal with them, you will just make the barrier. So if you that is the one good link, the communication to the right people. Go to that circle, find that circle, and try to get into closer to that. But if you want to speak like that, if you want to know that, you have knowledge about what they are doing. If you don't have no idea, you go there, you will be a dump and they will be kicked out. So you should know, like the way you said, how to speak. You can, like, the ethos, pathos, logos.
Yeah.
You have three versions. Like one is the emotion, the way you give the emotion. One is with the logistics and everything. To talk about that way, they will understand. The other thing is like the positioning. If you are a successful entrepreneur or a businessman, they will listen to you. If you know about the knowledge, they will listen to you. If you can speak with emotion, they will listen to you. And the best part is like most of the people, they will trigger with the emotions.
Yeah.
The one who speak with the emotions.
Yeah. You have to be able to move people the way that you want them to move in order to be successful in life. I guess there's overall three things. If you want to become a successful businessman, you need to be good at sales, you need to be good at negotiating, and then you need to be good at communication. I think these are the top three things that you need to focus on.
So that is a very important, that is a very valuable point for like everybody who's looking to start something. These three things you can't miss. If you don't know any of this, you will face a problem when it's come. That is true.
Yeah. And sometimes, it doesn't matter what the end product will be, like the end result will be. It's about the journey. So if you start a company or you set your mind to do something, it doesn't matter if you become successful or you fail. It matters about what kind of person do you become in that journey. What do you learn from it and how do you grow? And on the other side, you're a different man or you're a different woman. At the end of the day.
That is true. That makes sense. Why? Because, every book written by the successful person, or every podcast or every interview or anything, when you ask a question, how do you become successful? They don't give you any secrets. What they see is the process, how they tackle the problems. That is exactly their world. Because like the people who made like 100 million their net worth, even they go broke tomorrow, they know how to build that, because this journey is the one with that. That is something facing to the younger generation right now, because they don't have that much of process.
Yeah.
They get into some easy quick money. They are looking to make easy money.
Yeah.
And the money will go boom. Especially the like, you see the fall of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Especially the online digital money. It will go someday. It will go up someday. You don't have any control over that. So in that verse, so the digital money, you have a digital banking system. So how do you secure to the people, secure to your customers, your clients?
Yeah. So we are powered by an electronic money institution licensed in the UK. And actually banking with an EMI license for businesses is much more secure than banking with conventional banks. In Denmark, for example, there's only a bank guarantee of 100,000 euros, which means that if the bank goes bankrupt, let's imagine there's a bank run. All of the clients, the same day, they go to the bank and say, hey, I want to withdraw my money. Every bank in the world would go bankrupt because they don't have all the money in the bank, because they give the money out to loans and they make interest off them. EMI licenses are not allowed to take the money out and give loans and make interest on them. So that means that 100% of the money is always in the bank account. You're not allowed to touch client funds. So that's why it's more safer to bank with an electronic money institution than it is to bank with a conventional bank.
Okay, that is really cool. And that's so interesting to the people also. Yeah, I would like to open to it, because like people are looking for security.
Yes, they are. And people are looking for convenience and customer support and service. Because I'll tell you my own experience. I had RegBank before, and I wanted to receive euros in my RegBank. Then they told me that I have to come down to the branch, fill out a piece of paper form, and bring my passport and bring some other documents. Then I told them that I want to add a new shareholder in the company. Then they said, okay, you have to take this guy in the hand, come down, bring his passport, and add him in the bank account. And every time there's something that I want to do, they're dragging me down to the bank, and I have to bring all my passport, all my documents, fill out paper forms. It's not convenient. It's not modern. So with us, you don't even have to step foot inside UAE. You can get a business bank account. Yeah, exactly. You can do everything digitally with us. You get one account with 50 currencies from the get-go instead of you going and requesting the bank every time you enter a new market with a new currency. So it's more secure, it's more convenient. We have better service, we have a better product.
Yeah, like people understand that, and I too understand that point of like doing advantage of like doing a digital banking. To be honestly, and that's where most people are opening account right now. Instead of going to a bank account, they can add an account in your phone. That's easy, and like you're giving access to 150 like different countries. Like I want to do that. That's a great business. So what you want to talk about?
Maybe some of the challenges that you have in your business, maybe I can give a thought about how I would solve them. Do you have have you had any challenges, or are you facing anything? What's the next step in your own business?
Like because like I have to figure it out those things. Like the challenges is always there because of the scalability and like of course the sales models and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm just like currently I don't want to start to take too much confidence in this.
Okay.
You can just go something for more regular, more general contents. Like we can talk about the communication.
Okay. How do you market Spotcast?
How do you market?
How do you market Spotcast?
So like how I market this podcast, of course, like the whatever we are doing is the product sells itself. So the main thing, people who understand the value of podcast, but they don't want to do it in the specific way. People who understand the value of the podcast, they want to be make unique. They don't want to make unique. So that's where we come up. You can do it in your own space, at own sure customizable setup and everything. We will do that. So our marketing that is like doing ads and everything. So doing ads and everything, showing the products like what we've done before, and like the customer experience.
Yeah.
Customer experience. That is the main thing.
Yeah.
And also getting right people in the customer viewpoint. So Dubai works with, to be honestly, most of the Dubai works with reference and like who are in the position. Look into that.
All right, let me tell you a little bit about my own challenges in my business and how I solved them. So remember I told you I started out with a shit ad, and then I started doing commercial and I got like 20 leads. 20 leads was easy to handle, you just call them one by one. You look them up on Facebook. The next thing we did was to make a website and then make more professional content with video cameras, studios. And then we did a Zapier integration from Facebook to an Excel sheet. So that means that we were doing social media ads, and then we were using Zapier to pull out the contact leads into an Excel sheet. And then I was just dialing them on my phone and calling them. But that was also a hassle because you don't know which stage it is, and it is Excel sheet, and it's not nice. There's not so many optimizations you can do. So what we did was we started with CRM system, a CRM system that I could click on a button and it would call everybody one by one. It saved so much time. It saved the time that it took me to look at the Excel sheet and put the phone number in my phone and call. Plus, everybody that didn't pick up the phone, I could just on my laptop press didn't answer, like a tag. And then it would go into an optimization and it would say, hey, Haroon tried to call you from EasyConto and you haven't responded. Here's an email, right? He'll send an email, he'll send an SMS, and we'll keep doing that until he will put it again into my call list and I will try to call them again. This happened, right? After that, I figured out how can I make sure that people are ready to receive a call from me. So as soon as client now signs up, we send them an SMS and say, hey, thank you so much for signing up with us. What's a good time to call you? If you don't answer us within 2 hours, then we will call you up within 24 hours. And you know what happened? Like 85%, 75% of all our clients responded, hey, call me tomorrow at 1 p.m. So clients were ready to be sold to and ready to talk with. So I was not calling them up on random times. This is another problem that I solved. Plus, now with the CRM system, I have a lot of old leads. So every time I have a campaign and I want to sell something, just put them into a campaign and I can just boost out any product or service that I have related to my own. Like I can cross sell them. Plus, every team member, the sales, the onboarding team, the cross selling team, they have their own dashboards. And these clients are now moving through like a product life circle in our company. We have them from new leads to having meetings done to sold them. Now they're onboarded. Then you have another person. So you can like tailor make like customer journeys now. So this is like some of the challenges that I've had in our business that I had to solve. And I would say also the banking business is not a client demand based problem business. It's more like a supplier base. So it's easy to generate demand for my business, but it's sometimes more harder to get the supply because you can have complex financial infrastructures of companies or complex demands that you cannot meet with banks. And then you have to go and search and find the best solution. You're interviewing 21 different banks and finding the right solution for the right client. So that making that match and building a financial architecture can often seem very like difficult for us.
Yeah, that's cool. Like just started with a very zero, then use brick by brick, you integrate something like you first integrate a CRM that you help to the to customer with the clients, right? So manage with the clients and like customer relation manager. That is really good. And how do you develop your team? Like you start with a zero, you start with the one person.
Yeah, exactly. It just started by myself and my business partner. And then afterwards, my mom actually came and helped in the business, and my sister came and helped in the business. And now my sister is employed by us. And I've had so many, my cousins have come and helped me in my business. My friends, little brothers have come and helped me in my business. I've had a lot of like people come and do internships and help me in my business. A lot of different stuff. What I did then afterwards, I did a 3 months internship program at my company where fresh graduates could come and then they could prove themselves, unpaid internship for 3 months. And if they could bring value to our company, we would then start hire them. One example is Andreas. I've hired him. He's a very talented guy. He came in right after high school, 19-year-old guy. And I told him he needs to automate all our manual workflows.
So what he graduated with?
He studied from high school and he went to business high school. He studied economics, marketing, leadership, innovation. In Denmark, you can choose a business high school. So he had the fundamentals, but then he was supposed to come into our organization and start creating value. And at that time, this is like 6 months ago, I saw a lot with end-to-end optimizations of workflows. So I sat him down and he automated like 3-4 different workflows for me. For example, we use Trello a lot in our business. And I have a VA that is hired in the Philippines and I put Trello tasks for her. Like a Kanban tool where you like have to do, doing, and done. Yeah. So what Andreas automated for me under this internship was that I could just talk to my Telegram and I could say, hey, add a note for Ashley to update new blogs and make them search engine optimized. And then I would say that to Telegram. Telegram would take it, put it into ChatGPT, and it would write it in bullet points. And then it would take it and put it into Trello. And then she would do the task. And the same thing, he automated like calendar invites. He automated PowerPoint presentations. I would just talk to my Telegram and it would create me a PowerPoint. So he did a lot of value for me. So I found out, find people that are hungry, find people that want to become better in something and learn something, and then bring them in an internship and hire them from there.
That is nice. That's the way you build your team.
Yeah, that's how I built my team. And now my business partner, Firat, he just hired his big brother, Mehmet, because he's very good with IT. So he's developing all our IT platforms, payment, software integrations. And so it has been a lot of like family for me in the beginning. Family, friends, their younger brothers, sisters. and then through internships.
That is really good. Like most of the, like when you are supported with your environment and your best one, you get more hunger to work for them. And that is really true. That is really cool. What is the best piece of advice you ever get or received?
In personal life or business life?
Personal, like
In personal life, the best advice I got was from my boarding school teacher called Lars. And he told me that if you're too big for a small task, then you're too small for a big task. So never ever have too much ego in your life. Don't ever think to yourself, like, why should I take this glass from the sink and put it into the dishwasher? Right? If you are too arrogant, then people will not like you and people will not want to work with you. And you need to set a good example. So even in my own company, I don't mind taking the glass out of the sink and putting it into the dishwasher because I'm not some big shot, right? So having this mindset and always working hard and leading by example is very, very important. This is the best advice that I've gotten, like personally.
really nice. Like, can you just say it again? The teacher used
Exactly. My teacher said these exact words. He said in Danish, he said, du skal aldrig nogensinde være for stor til en lille opgave, så er du for lille til en stor opgave. You should never ever be too big for a small task because then you're too small for a big task.
Yeah. Cool. That was so nice. So that changed your life, bro. And
Yeah,
that changed
it
that
did.
they just literally kill the ego,
Mm.
and ego is the one who kill like every phases even from success, failure, or even you are sitting with your friends, the ego came.
Exactly.
So that the teacher really helps you to kill that in a very
Exactly.
young age.
Yeah, he helped me kill my ego, and it has helped me in my business because every time there's some task, usually this is also funny. As a CEO in a business, you always have to do the shit task yourself because the people, the company, they wouldn't want to do them, or if they do it, they wouldn't do it fully heartedly. So there's been a lot of tasks in my own company where I thought, shit, this is banal, this is like stupid, or this is shit, I don't want to do it. But I'm like, I always remember Lars telling me this. And then I'm just like, okay, suck it up, Haroon, you just have to do it.
Yeah, like the best way as a leader is to do and show to the people so they can do. Instead of like saying that, do that,
Yeah.
show them. Like I am doing for you guys. So they apparently they will do that. That's the best way to be a leader. Good.
What's a good experience that you have had, or good advice that you've gotten doing a podcast with somebody? What's like the best thing you have learned doing podcasts with people?
So what I learned from that, from a millionaire, he said that take risk because like the result is not in your hand. Take risk whatever it is and believe it will be happen or not. But don't afraid to take the risk. And the best time is like whenever you are younger or have no barriers, no commitments. When you're going alone, just go strive alone.
There's a guy called Mads Fagerholt. He told me what the difference between risk and uncertainty is. And he said the same thing. Take a lot of risk because you can, at a young age, you can deal with, you don't have risk, he said. He said the only thing you have as a young age is uncertainty. Because uncertainty means that you don't know whether it's going to work or whether it's going to fail. Risk means that if it doesn't work, you're going to be on the street, you have to pay for like 5 babies and you have like a wife and, like this is risk. But for young people, there's no risk. There's just uncertainty. You can go out and try a lot of stuff and you can deal with uncertainty.
Yeah, that is true. And also another thing that I heard, like perfectionism kills. I was a guy like who was thinking about to doing like I want to do these kind of things in a perfect way, but there is nothing like perfect. It is nothing like perfect. Just do it and see there is everything that has a problem. So do the things, find the problem, and then make it better. Make it better. But doing better is better than perfect.
100%.
Yeah. So like what you said, like, you traveled for 20 countries, right?
Yeah, I went to over 24 countries in 24 months.
24 countries in 24 months. It's like a movie, like 180 next.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's cool. So what is the experience that what teaches you from the traveling?
There's one author in Denmark, it's called Hans Christian Andersen. He made The Little Mermaid and a lot of different fairy tale movies, and he says that traveling is living. So I think traveling taught me how to live life full and die empty of regrets, die empty of things that you wish you would do. And traveling also made me realize that the world is a much smaller place than we actually think it is. World is so connected. I would actually meet some people going to one country and I would travel to another country and they would be there too. So traveling has taught me also to never get comfortable, always moving and constant change. King Solomon had this infamous quote, "This too shall pass." If you think everything is working, if you think everything is fantastic right now, this too shall pass. If you think everything is horrible, if you think everything is going wrong, this too shall pass. And if you think time is on your side, then just wait. This too shall pass. So traveling, it actually makes you realize that, oh, I'm here for a second. I'm here as a guest, also in this world and this country and this city, but this too shall pass. And then I would go home and I would start working again. And I would work on my trip too. I would try to get clients and shoot content in each country. But it really helped me understand this concept of this too shall pass. Because you go there, you meet new friends, you find a new way of life, but this too shall pass. Now I'm in Dubai. I just booked a flight to Pakistan and I'm going there in April to build a business incubation center for entrepreneurs. And I know here I'm in Dubai, but this time this too shall pass.
It's true that like that is the quote, this too shall pass. Like most of the people, they are just think to build something for the present. This day looking at the present, like, okay, it's very good to, if you work on your present, you'll get a good future. That is true. But if you are just working on the sense of like, okay, all the things is mine and everything, this too shall pass.
Yeah, exactly. We believe as Muslims, our last pair of cloth doesn't have any pockets. We're not bringing anything with us, right? Only our good deed, and everything is written for us. Our rizq, right? We have our rizq written for us. So you should be aware of that.
Yeah, that is true. And also, like, I think like Alexander the Great or something, like he said there is a story, there is a king, the real story in the past that is like when he said he was a king and he said when I'm dying, the best daughter should carry my what is called my tomb.
Yeah.
And like the people, the best doctors in the country should carry my tomb.
Yeah.
And the money what I make, it will be distributed.
Yes.
And along the way. And what he say, like, and after that they ask like why, because I get like goosebumps. Why? Because like when you see that the wealthiest person in the country, he said like the people who was watching my death, they want to know like nothing I'm gonna carry. The wealth is there, and the best doctors never can't save my life. And that's realize people who have the envy, they don't think about that.
True. This reminds me of poetry I want to share with you. It says that you can buy a lot of stuff with money, but not everything. You could buy a watch, but not time. You can buy a bed, but not sleep. You can buy food, but not appetite. You can buy a doctor, but not health. So there's a lot of things that you can't buy for money.
Yeah, that is true. And also like nowadays people are like the scientists and the health and nowadays the science and the health care industries, they say people who are buying the things, like you buy a Lamborghini, but your satisfaction go down. But the people who travels and who have an experience, they are feeling more higher than buying a car or materialistic things.
Yeah.
That is getting true. People are getting to the getting with the bare foods to the grass nowadays. Like, hey,
yeah,
that is
exactly. Connecting with the world. What's next for you now after in this year in 2026? Where do you see Spotcast?
Like this podcast, like I'm seeing the scale of the podcast, because the podcast itself, like it will be change the Dubai, like the way that people do the podcast, and also it will helps you to give the flexibility to start doing podcast. And the app we are developing can help to the people to connect to the right audience, because that is the basic, that is the most barrier people are looking, because everybody love to talk. Everybody love to talk.
Yeah.
I want someone to be listen, and the listener should be good.
Yeah, sure.
So when we break that barrier of the like connecting to the right people, the podcast will go much more higher. So we can scale up to the next Emirates, and like Abu Dhabi is like developing a lot, and Abu Dhabi is not gonna be they introduce something like a Silicon Valley, you see. So there is a lot of startup is going to be there. So if they want to be their own podcast, everything that should be 100% need to be there. So when we are targeting Abu Dhabi also, and also like country like developing like Bali, there's a lot of entrepreneurs there. And that's how we scale. And also the platform that we can connect every fare from connecting to the podcast to the host and guest. That is like building a podcast economic ecosystem. That's really how it has to be get more reach. And why I started podcast is I would like to listen from you guys, the one who have experience. I tried books and everything, but the best thing for me to learn is like having a conversation with the right person. And people hesitate to do that. I don't know. But I love to take the advantage of your experience, because as like a podcast, as in a conversation, you don't talk too many shits. Just talk about what is the best thing you can share about. So I can take that and apply to my life, and I can also share to the audience who want to listen that way.
And how do you get in contact with Spotcast?
How do you get
in contact with Spotcast?
How can
somebody in Dubai or Abu Dhabi get in contact with Spotcast?
I think there is. You can just go to this podcast.ae website. We'll be there for you guys all the time. We'll come up with the same setup and everything. Good, awesome, and you'll be there.
Okay, nice.
And how do you see like your Easy Condo the 5 years or next year?
I see Easy Condo internationalizing, because 80% of our clients are from Denmark. So I see Easy Condo internationalizing, getting in front of a global audience. That's why I moved here to the UAE. I see Easy Condo acquiring new partnerships, new banks, new solutions for new markets, and really getting into like a global stage and becoming an international player.
Cool. And the word Easy Condo.
Yeah.
How'd you made that?
Yeah, exactly. I know. So konto means account in Danish, and easy is easy, right? So it's easy account. Maybe in the development of this internationalization, we will also come up with new brands. Yeah. So we'll come up with new brands, new platforms. So Easy Condo will stay like a local Scandinavian thing, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. And then we will launch new brands into the international markets. That's the goal.
All right, that's great. So wish you a successful Easy Condo.
Thank you.
And like I want to just open an Easy Condo account, because it had use, because I struggle in UAE when I get into here and starting a right account. And thank you, Harun. Thank you for having you here. Thank you for you to give us a space to do a podcast over here.
Yeah, right. I love it. You're my neighbor, so you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Take care.
For a good use.
Take care.